Alright, in this tutorial I'm going to show you how to make your character walk. I've taken the Mello character and added a body, added an arm and a leg, and notice that I've got my character all in a nested scene. So I called it Mello Talking. I could have actually called it, just Mello Person or Mello Character. But I've got everything happening in here. I've got the talking going on, and I've already that are moving back and forth. And then what I'll do is I'll eventually move that into, or not move it, but I'll add this character into scene one. Now to show you how to get the arms and legs moving, again, I've already got the arms working, and so I'm going to show you how to do a leg. And I've created this leg right here. I've got it on a layer, and I'm just going to click on that one. And the first thing I want to do, again, there's many different ways to do this, but this is one method. Instead of doing frame by frame, I could use poses very similar to what we've done with the mouth. We could just create poses and have those set keyframes and set the poses as we go along. That's one method. But I'm going to use tweens and nested scenes. So here I've created the leg, and I've gone to the transform tool. I'm just going to, I rotated it a little bit, just rotate it to the point where you think it looks good, and I've decided to rotate it to where I want one of the starting positions, or the extent of one leg forward motion. And I'm going to take the rotation point and put it up in at the hip level. The next thing I'm going to do is create a symbol from this. So I'm going to convert to symbol, and I'm going to call this one leg moving. Okay, so now I've got symbol here. Again, I'm going to take the rotation point and put it up at the hip. It's best to do that early on. And now I'm going to double click into the symbol, and now I'm into a nested scene. And what I'm going to do in here is, again, it's going to cause this to become another symbol, but I'm going to create a motion tween. When I do that, it tells me that I can't. It needs to be converted to a tween. I'm going to say OK. And so it created this symbol here. I don't like to leave things where I won't know what they are, so I'm just going to call that leg. And again, I'm going to take the rotation point and put it up at the hip. And now what I'm going to do, so at the first frame, it's going to be in this position. And then at the last frame, I'm going to make this go 10 frames. I know that I did that with the arms. I made the total motion 20 frames long, so I want half the motion to be 10 frames. So again, I'm going to click on this, and I'm going to rotate this now to the point where I think the ending of the leg stride should be. Okay, and now it does that kind of thing. I want it to come back again, so I'm going to click in the tween, I'm going to right click and copy frames, then I'm going to click at one frame past and go to paste frames. Then right now both of these go in the same direction, so that doesn't look right. So I'm going to click in the second motion tween and go to reverse keyframes. That just switches these two frames, and now it looks like it goes one direction and then comes back again. And that's exactly what I'm looking for. So now I can go back to Mello Talking, and the symbol is already in there, or I could just drag it in if it wasn't still there. And now when it goes, I've got this. If you don't have it, you can just you can insert frames to take it all the way out to the point where you want it. And now during that entire period of time, it looks like that arm or that motion just keeps repeating itself. And so now it looks like it's walking. And now to do the other leg, the easiest way is just to insert that symbol again. You could do a separate one all unto itself, but I'm going to want the two legs to look similar. So the one thing I do want to do is I want to put the layer for leg number 2 underneath the body, so that way it'll be on the other side. So I'm going to click down here somewhere, say on head, and then create a new layer. And I'm going to call that one leg 2. I already had leg 1 with my other layer, leg 2. And then on the first frame there, I'm just going to drag in my leg moving, because that was the symbol that has it actually moving. So I'm going to drag that in, and I tend to like to make the one that's further away from us just a tiny bit smaller, because if we were seeing it, the one that's further away would be just a tiny bit smaller. I'll make it a little bit smaller. It's not an absolute must. It looks like the rotation point has moved on me, so I'm going to move it up into the hip point again, and I'm going to drag this and put it in place. Okay, right now it's snapping. You may not want it to snap. You can turn off the snap mode down here. I can't find it there right now, so I'll just move it into place. Okay, and right now it's looking, it's not going to look correct because both legs are moving together. That's not what we want. So I'm going to click on this one, click on the, make sure you get the correct one. So actually what I'm going to do is I'm just going to turn off leg 1 for now. And then I'm going to go back and click on leg 2. And then I'm going to go to properties. And here is where the looping is. And instead of having it start at frame 1, I want it to start at frame 11. Or frame 10, however you want to do it. And now, when it goes through, okay, I'm going to turn on leg 1 again. And now it's looking pretty good. Right now, and you can make any more adjustments that you need. I think I made leg 2 just a little too small, but I'm not going to change it right now. So now I'm going to go to scene 1. And remember that I had put in the sound on scene 1 because it won't come through from the graphic symbol that is the character. So here again, you could, instead of doing what I did, you could put the sound on the main scene and then put your mouth symbol, your mouth talking symbol in at this point and have it come along with the character as well. Either method works. Everybody finds their own way of doing things. So in here though, I've made up a layer. I've just called it Mello. I could call it character. I'm going to right click and insert a keyframe and go back to my library. And this time I'm going to take Mello Talking is the whole character, right? Actually, I should probably rename that. Let's rename that one to Mello Character. It's not really just the talking anymore. Okay. And then I'm going to drag that in the stage. And it's way too big for the stage, so I'm going to make it smaller by using the transform tool and hold my shift key so that it reduces in size in proportion. Okay, and then I'm just going to drag it in where I want it to be. So I want it to be off the stage to start. That's just how I want mine to go. Then I'm going to go back to the timeline, right click, create motion tween, and now I'm going to drag it to where I want it to be. So I think I'm going to take the rotation point or the anchor point and put it up in the middle of the head. So when it scales, hopefully it'll scale about that point. Not 100% sure that that's what's going to happen, but that's what I'm going to try anyways. And I'm going to bring it down somewhere into here. And then I want to arc it just to make it a little bit more interesting. So I need to go up to the selection tool, change it to the selection tool so that I get the bending selection here. And then I can have a look and see how that looks. All right, and that looks not too bad, right? Then I want it to carry on. I want this motion tween to carry on out to the end of the frames here. However, so that I can have it zoom up. But if I take this right now, that actually takes that whole motion tween and slides it over. So I'm going to Control Z that. If I hold my Shift key while I have the arrows here, then I can drag this out and it leaves my keyframe where it was. So now I can go and do another change to it. So I'm going to click on the transform tool, and at this point I'm going to take this and I'm going to scale it. So I'm going to hold my Shift key again and make it quite a bit bigger. And I'm going to do it until I can't see the arms anymore. and that way when it scales it won't matter if the person keeps moving, because I won't be able to see it anyways. So now when this goes, it looks like he moves it and goes up to here. Okay, so, and he scales up. So it goes to this point, then he just scales right up. And that's really what we're looking for in this assignment. So that's how you make him walk. And of course, I did the exact same thing with the arms, and so you can do the same thing there. And another couple of little things just to show you is if I want to move this keyframe, if I want to change where that point is, if I hold the control key and hold my shift and then shift click, then move away, and notice you get the red box, or sorry, the square box, not red box. Now I can move that keyframe, and I can do that without it changing the other two, or I could slide it back this way. All right, so that's how you can change the position there. And that was holding my control key while then clicking. All right, and then if I click away from that, then that's fine. All right, I think that's enough for this tutorial, and hopefully that was of some help to you.